What is going on, guys? Rewinds here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you guys my review for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Manga chapter number 4. And first things first, I did see some of you guys, not so happy with my audio in my last video when I was dropping the spoilers and all that, and I do apologize for that. I was in an area where I couldn't really speak too loud at that moment, so that's pretty much why that happened. But as you can tell by the recording of this video, everything's back to normal now, and going forward there really shouldn't be much of an issue from an audio perspective here, so everything should be good on that end going forward. But let's talk about the chapter. So we have a Kawaki cover for this chapter, and I did see a bunch of mixed responses to it online. Overall, I thought it was decent. I feel like people were hating on it a little too hard, but I don't really think the cover was too bad. Definitely a bit overhated online, but I would say it's the weakest of the 4 covers we've had so far in the whole Boruto, 2 Blue Vortex span. I can at least agree with that. As for the chapter itself, just an insane, crazy chapter. I just really wasn't expecting a lot of what happened to actually have gone how it did, and I'm glad about that. I like it when I'm surprised when it comes to these stories, and I really like where the story is heading right now. There's so much potential here, and I truly hope that Kishimoto and Ikimoto really take advantage of where this is going. But the chapter did kick off with Code, thinking about what Boruto said. So pretty much Code brushes off what Boruto says about the Ten Tails and doesn't really see the Ten Tails as a threat. Pretty much thinking, that he's in control and everything like that. Boruto, in the meantime, since he now knows the location of the Ten Tails, is preparing to teleport using the Flying Raijin. And this was a very welcome surprise. I'm really happy about this. This is one of the coolest jutsu in my opinion. I really like it, and I'm glad that Boruto learned this. I do hope we find out at some point, how exactly he learned this, who he picked it up from, or, everything like that, because based off this chapter, he does seem to know that this is his grandpa's technique. So that goes to show that he knows that info from the past somehow, and it would just be something good to have answered down the line, even if it's just only, like an anime episode that addresses it. But Boruto's in a rush, he's trying to get over there because the Toad in the other dimension is telling him that he doesn't have any time to spare, and Boruto responds by telling him to wait because he's not as good at the technique as his grandpa is. So again, references Minato here, and he does acknowledge that he's not as good as Minato is at this technique, but the fact that Boruto even knows this is pretty cool in itself. As for, I know a lot of people are always wondering about when's Naruto gonna pull this out and all this and that, because we do see Naruto, have insane speed whenever he's really powered up and he's in his stronger modes, but for Naruto to be using this in his regular base form, we don't really see that from Naruto either. And it would be something cool for Naruto to have down the line too, if they bring him back into the picture and he's fighting and all that. So so pretty much what happens is Boruto then teleports over to Code, only to find that the Ten Tails is now missing, and the Toad that's there pretty much ends up saying that it wasn't Code, he didn't make any suspicious movements. A little after that, a look-alike to Bug appears, and Boruto sees it. It's pretty much a new enemy, and Boruto says it's a divine tree creature. And Code isn't believing, at this moment what he's hearing from Boruto. He's just in shock. This Bug look-alike charges at Boruto, and he's fairly strong because he's actually pushing Boruto back a little bit. Not like he's beating him, but it's not like how the fight with Code was, where Boruto was just running through him. and this bug look-alike divine tree pretty much asks Boruto if Boruto Otsutsuki is here to offer himself to be self-devoured. So it shows you that this creature and the other ones I'm going to talk about, going forward, have that same will to devour, the chakra and devour the Otsutsuki, keep that whole process going. And so pretty much we have this little fight go on for a few pages. I think it was like 3 or 4 pages, and it just shows that this opponent was a little bit challenging for Boruto, which is, way different than what we've been seeing Boruto go through the first 3 chapters when he was just like dog walking all over Code, and his soldiers. So then a little after that, like I want to say maybe 1 more page after that, Boruto actually ends up rescinding the Rasengan Uzuhiko in Code and tells him to help out if he doesn't want to die. So this, as soon as I read this, I'm like, this is a little bit of a yikes, because Code is someone who probably isn't worthy of trust either. So I didn't really expect Code to help along, and later I did find out in the chapter when the spoilers came out that Code did indeed betray him, but not the way you would think. So Boruto, pretty much explains by saying that everyone who's been turned into a tree will become like this, not just Bug. So the more people that get turned into this divine tree form, the more of these creatures there will be. And then another divine tree creature is pretty much just floating in the air, and he talks about the original purpose of the divine tree, which is to form a chakra fruit, but he ends up saying that that was their original driving instinct, and pretty much is claiming now that they've evolved now thanks to Code awakening self-awareness in them. So Code has fucked up yet again. Code has put them in this spot, and Code seems like he got used again, and this is shown by a female divine tree creature showing up right next, which I've seen some people say looks very similar to Moegi, so that could be interesting. Maybe she got captured at some point, and if that's the case, maybe this creature could be someone that will have a fight down the line against, involving Shikadai and his team, potentially. So this female divine tree creature comes in and pretty much says that it's Code's fate to be a clown who's always used by someone else. So nothing new. We're keeping the pattern going. Code taking L after L. I really don't know. At this point, I'm really questioning if Code really is going to have some sort of redemption arc, or what exactly is going to happen with him, because I really thought the time skip was going to be it, but clearly that idea didn't age too well, and I don't know what's going to happen now. The Toad then whispers to Boruto that it may be time to retreat, as yet another divine tree creature shows up, and this one catches Boruto's attention even more. You can't really see the face because it's covered by a cloak. We then cut over to Kawaki and Shikamaru talking in the Hokage's office. Kawaki's pretty much claiming that Boruto vanished, and he might be chasing Code. And he says that he was communicating with someone else, and then he also mentions that there's a chance that he may be linked with Code. But, Kawaki is probably just saying that final part there, right? The final part he said right there about him being linked with Code, just to make sure, Shikamaru doesn't start trusting him, even if it's for a little instance. Sarada comes in, too, into the office, and says that Boruto saved Konoha from Code, and that Kawaki says, in response to that Boruto needs to be killed just for being an Otsutsuki. So Kawaki is still hung up on the same thing about all that, hey, destroy all the Otsutsuki and whatnot. And I wonder what Kawaki's gonna think when he sees all of these creatures now, because Kawaki hates the Otsutsuki, so when he sees these creatures, which is pretty much, Otsutsuki creatures in a sense, Kawaki is gonna lose it. It's gonna be interesting to see his reaction. And, Sarada, of course, coming in here and giving a smart answer, putting 2 and 2 together, trying to make it make sense to Shikamaru. But Kawaki's trying to make sure, of course, that um, the mind doesn't really change too much on that, because Kawaki's dead set on, destroying Boruto. And Sarada pretty much says that, Kawaki's behavior and response is rich, coming from someone like him, since he's yet another Otsutsuki himself, which I think is a fair response to say back in return. And she was not holding back. Sarada's been pretty damn harsh to, everybody in the start of this time skip span, and honestly, I can't blame her. I mean, look at what's going on. Nobody's listening. She knows the truth, and other people can't put two and two together. So that's just how it is right now. And pretty much this interaction is coming to an end almost. Sarada says that she won't let Kawaki have his way as someone, who aims to be Hokage in the future. Shikamaru then asks about the trees that were in the reports, and Sarada says that the people are still alive that got captured by the tree, and that Boruto may actually know something about this. Shikamaru then concludes from all this that maybe that's why he's perhaps going after Code. So pretty much Shikamaru concludes that Boruto knows something, and Boruto may indeed be Code's enemy. Which, this is good, because if Shikamaru, being the Hokage, starts trusting Boruto even a little bit down the line, may give hope for, Boruto in the story, to somehow redeem himself, or we'll see what kind of route they go with that down the line. We then cut back over to Boruto, who's now looking ready to attack, and he's doing this despite the Toad telling him to retreat, since this whole surprise attack idea of theirs failed. And the Toad talking, I'm pretty sure that it's not a regular Toad. I'm pretty sure it's Kashin Koji talking to him, and that's because of what's revealed at the end of the chapter. But let me know if you think it's not Koji and it's just, actually like a Toad, kind of like how it used to be in the original Naruto days. Let me know what you think of that. So we have a Sasuke-looking divine tree creature now attacking Boruto. This is insane. This concludes to us that Sasuke has been captured and is pretty much, captured by that tree, and now he's become this, or the divine tree has taken the form of Sasuke. We do get a cool little Rasengan versus Chidori clash panel. Those are always welcome. It's been a while since we've seen one of those, so that was pretty cool to see. And then Boruto's pretty much fighting, a 3-on-1 battle at this point, and he's losing. The odds are stacked against him, and, it's just not looking good for him, because these opponents are actually pretty strong. Boruto then asks Code for help, but Code is happy, seeing Boruto go down, and he just ends up using his claw marks to escape. And this is what I was talking about earlier. This is the kind of move I expected from Code. And it is in character, so it makes sense. But, maybe Code could have made himself a little useful here. But, guess not. The Toad then, yet again, tells Boruto to escape. And now we're approaching the end of the chapter, pretty much. And there is, that other divine tree creature that I was telling you guys about that was floating in the air. And that one I think looks similar to Jigen, but some people said it could also be that ninja that was captured in chapter 2, I want to say, that Sarada was, with. So it could be that one too, but those look pretty similar to Jigen / Ishiki, I want to say, as well. So I'm just going to say it's a Jigen lookalike for now. And this creature is pretty much saying that Boruto got lucky that their self-awareness had just awoken, because otherwise their instinctual drive would have been to devour Boruto, and would have been a lot stronger than what it is right now. And then pretty much he ends off his little speech by saying that he's never going to escape his destiny. So pretty much they're saying no matter where he goes, they're going to get him. Then now we're on the actual final 2-3 pages of the chapter, and we're seeing Boruto leaning on a tree, talking to someone who is telling Boruto that he was being too rash. We then cut over to the next page, where it's revealed that it's Kashin Koji, and this is, what makes me think that Kashin Koji was just talking to him through the Toad. But yeah, it's Kashin Koji. I'm happy to see him back. This was honestly pretty hype, especially when the spoilers came out. So I'm happy to see him, and I'm glad he's involved on the side of Boruto. So Koji says that he says, pretty much that they knew that there was going to be a high chance of this possibly happening, and that it doesn't really change anything as they must fight. And this is just something they anticipated, because it seems like Boruto knew about the future in some sense, based off what he was saying in chapter 2, so, and in chapter 3. So this just kind of shows you that they expected this. And then we pretty much wrap up the chapter by Boruto saying sorry, and then he says you'll have to wait a bit longer, Uncle Sasuke. And then we see Sasuke caught in the divine tree, or caught in that tree form. So Sasuke has been captured. They did my boy Sasuke dirty, of course, but I definitely think I'll prefer this any day over him, getting off screen during the time skip span. I think this is way better. This makes sense, and this continues the parallel that we've seen between Naruto and Sasuke in the past, because now both of them are sealed. Both of them are facing, a little bit of a different fate, because Sasuke could potentially be in a worse spot here, but at the same time, if you look at where Naruto's at, I mean, it's not like Naruto's in a great spot either, but at least Kawaki wants to protect him. I guess in this case, Boruto really wants to protect Sasuke, but at the same time, Sasuke's already been kind of lost to the enemy, and now we have this, I guess, ulterior ego version of Sasuke. So, yeah, that's what it seems like is going on. And you could see how disappointed Boruto is in this chapter to not have been able to free Sasuke back up. And this is definitely going to be something that comes down the line, I believe, where Sarada is probably going to get involved too, along with Boruto. So this is going to be interesting to see how all of this develops down the line. But all in all, amazing chapter, and I don't know how they keep doing it. I really don't know, but 10 out of 10 chapter, maybe even an 11 out of 10 chapter for me. And I don't really give, chapters that have a rating easily like that, so it just shows you I really thought this was a great chapter. It was insane. I liked a lot of unexpected parts of the plot, and I liked the stuff that was introduced. I do think it's nice also having a fresh new villain cast, because if we just had the whole Code Kawaki and Boruto circle for throughout this whole time skip, it wouldn't be as exciting per se. I mean, it'd be cool at the beginning, but if they dragged that out for too long, it wouldn't be the same. This is definitely the right direction of where they want to take things, in my opinion, and I'm excited to see where things go. But best chapter so far of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. They are 4 for 4 for me. No bad chapters yet. Everything has been really good and above, and I'm excited to see what they do next month in chapter 5. So as always though, let me know what you guys thought of this chapter 2 in the comments below. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys think it wasn't as good as I thought? Did you perhaps dislike it by chance? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to wrap up this one. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day or night whenever you guys are watching this video. I'm Rewinds, and I'm out.